Half Moon Cay is known for its white sand beaches and turquoise water, and it is widely considered by many cruisers to be the best beach in the entire Caribbean. If anyone has ever been to the Caribbean, you know that that is a tall order, and we're going to do a full in-depth review to let you know exactly what you can expect when you go there. I look at the beach, activities, food, excursions, entertainment options. At the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to expect. There's a lot to see and do here, and I can't wait to get started. We are going right down to the beach, and I'm going to pan the camera around so you can get a general overview as to what the beach looks like. And as you can see, the sand is white. It is absolutely beautiful. The water is turquoise. It is a full beach, and I'm going to go down the entire beach and show you all the options that are available. Now, one thing you'll notice, no matter where you are in Half Moon Cay, which is a 2-mile long beach, and I say that again, a 2-mile beach, you can see the ship. And that's a great comfort and feeling. Know that you're likely not going to get left behind. As we walk down the beach, you'll notice that the chairs are close together. They are in rows of 3 and 6, depending on how wide the beach is, and it is very crowded in this section of the beach. However, as you get further on down the beach, you'll see the dynamics of the beach begin to change. If you're one of those lucky passengers that got one of those chairs that's close to the tender port, you'll note that people will walk by all day eyeing your spot because they want to, frankly, take it. Passengers have a variety of different preferences, especially when it comes to how they enjoy the beach. Once you get off the ship, you'll notice that those first beach spots are going to be heavily congested. However, if you just continue to walk down, maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, you'll notice that the beach thins out dramatically. And now we're looking at what's I would describe as a pretty empty beach. If you continue to walk down even further, it gets far more spacious and empty, and you can have a beach all to yourself. There is a downside when you move further away from the central hub of activities, and it's this. If you want a drink, food, or even just a glass of water, you're going to have to turn around and walk back towards the central hub of activities. There are activities available, and I'm going to talk about that along with excursion just a little bit later on in the program. However, the vast majority, and I do mean the vast majority of people who come to Half Moon Cay look at it as an opportunity just to enjoy the beach. And you'll see people come, they'll sit on the beach all day long. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is one of the best beaches in the Caribbean, and if you look down right here, you can see that it is white, pearly white sand, and the water is crystal clear. I'm going to show you a few images of it, but if you can look at the water, you'll note that you can look all the way through the water, and you can see the sand. There is no obstruction whatsoever, and it's absolutely beautiful. I've been here several times before, and I've never seen the water look anything less than perfect. As far as the quality of the water and sand, if you're where most of the people are, or if you go to where there's no one, it really doesn't change. It's perfect no matter where you are. Now, here's my first recommendation to you, especially if you have kids and you want to save money. I'd bring your own flotation device. They're small, lightweight, they don't take up a lot of space, they're not prohibited at all, and you can buy a battery operated pump that works off a USB port, and it will blow them up in a matter of seconds. What used to take maybe a half hour to do, you can literally get done in no time. Now is as good a time as any to let you know that my channel runs off of viewers like you. If you've appreciated what you've seen so far, please hit the like button. If you really like it, then please subscribe. I have a ton of content about things you can do in the Caribbean and have a great time on cruises. Now, it goes without saying that this is going to be great for kids. One of the things I'd recommend, in addition to a flotation device, is bring some toys, something they can dig in the sand with and play in the sand with, because the kids will spend all day long in the sun. Of course, sun protection for the kids, but as far as whether or not this is a good fit for kids, it is. Kids, teenagers, adults, everyone really enjoys their time at Coco Cay, largely because it's a perfect beach environment. If you can't swim or you have any kind of concerns, the good news is that there are lifeguards throughout the entire beach area. I'd recommend though that you pay attention to the signs. They do have flags that let you know the condition, but for the most part, it doesn't have a lot of waves. If you like that kind of stuff, you're going to be disappointed because the water there is always calm. However, it is a 2-mile stretch of beach. That means there are not lifeguards on the entire 2 miles, so be careful to look for the signs. Here is my next tip for you. When most people come off the boat, the first thing they do is go down to the beach and reserve seats. And the seats they usually pick are going to be the ones that's closest to the ocean. But be mindful of that because the tide does come in at some time. And when that does come in, those seats that are closest to the water get inundated. And the folks who are sitting here have to get up and evacuate and move down. They don't have to get up, but oftentimes the water constantly coming in makes it uncomfortable. One of the great things about Coco Cay is that the lounge chairs are absolutely free. However, if you want to pay $50 for one of these clamshells, it'll save you from the sun and it can accommodate up to 2 chairs, then you can go ahead and do that as well. Now, there are also umbrellas available, and those cost around $25. And some people feel that the umbrellas in the clamshell aren't worth it because you can find plenty of shade. However, if you want to find one of the shaded spots underneath, say, a coconut tree, you got to get there pretty early. I've been here several times, and in my opinion, you're going to need more protection from the sun than the sunscreen you brought with you. While I was there, I saw several people that saved money by bringing their own canopy. This right here is foldable. You can put it in a purse or some kind of light backpack. This, in my opinion, is the best sunshade possible that I saw while I was there. You can accommodate up to 2 chairs. It's lightweight and it's very small and compact when you fold it all up. It's absolutely perfect. Here are 2 things that you are not going to like about Coco Cay. Number 1, they do not have towels. So that means you need to bring your own from the ship. And also, they don't have any Wi-Fi. Food is provided, but there's a couple of things you need to know. First off, there is a large dining area. And if you look at the beach area, the pirate ship, which is the center of the beach, right behind that is where the food area is. And they serve a variety of different types of food here. However, in my opinion, the food is not going to be as good as the food on board the ship. And also, you're not going to find as much variety. Here are some of the staples you'll find always pretty much here. There's gonna always be lots of sides, but the entrees are gonna be hamburgers, hot dog, and jerk chicken. Here is something you wanna keep in mind when it comes to lunch. Food on the island is not available 24/7. It is free though, it's included with your purchase to get on board the ship. However, lunch starts at 11 and it promptly closes at 1 p.m. That means if you come at say 1:15, you're likely to get the scraps, if anything at all. If you want to upscale it, there is the Lobster Shack that has fresh lobster. That is about $20 for lobster and a side, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Something I did not like was that the water stations were few and far between. After being in the sun all day, you're perspiring, there's a lot of dehydration going on. It wasn't a lot of places that you can get water readily available. However, if you wanted to get lit, there were at least 4 bars available throughout the island. The drinks there were really good. However, they're expensive. You're talking about like maybe $16 around that price range. And here's the downside to drinking on Coco Cay. Your drink package, the one you paid several $100s for, does not transfer over to this island. That means every drink you pay for is a la carte. Now here is something that I can appreciate. When you get that overpriced drink and you sit down at this bar, there's probably no better feeling than to sit here smoking a cigarette and drinking your favorite alcoholic beverage. Now, if you know you're gonna drink, but you know you're too lazy to get up and go to the bar, you can buy your drinks as soon as you walk through the front door. Also, if you forget to buy your drink, that's not a problem because there are people walking around all the time. They will not bring water. However, they will bring you an alcoholic drink that costs around $16 to $20 that tastes very good. And it's a great feeling to sit down in your chair and just watch the ocean and sip away. And if you're one of those adventurous few that walked all the way out into no man's land and you're sitting there enjoying your time in peace and quiet, they will drive a truck here, a Bacardi truck, and they will sell you the drink. So if you want to drink, plenty of opportunities for you to do so, to include the centerpiece of the island, this pirate ship right here. And what's inside? A bar. I'm not against drinking, but I'm just saying, if you want to drink, there is plenty of opportunities for you to get lit on this island. If you like being close to where all the action is, then you want to stay close to the pirate ship. It's called Captain Morgan on the Rock Bar. It's where they have any activities on the island. So this is the main landmark of the island. Just outside the pirate ship is where you can get all your recreational activities. These are different than excursions. You can pay a la carte. There is no need to reserve this stuff in advance because I have never been here and they've been out of equipment. They have a little area that's walled off, so you can't swim in this area, but this is where you can do all your recreational sports and activities. In my opinion, it's never really too full, so the best thing in my opinion to do there is going to be the kayaking, but really that depends on your preference. If you're thinking about one of those recreational type activities, it's not necessarily cheap. It's about $50 per person. Now, you may recall I said a little bit earlier that Captain Morgan's bar is where the center of activities are, and to be quite honest, there's not a lot of activities going on. This right here is about as entertaining as it gets, because the beach is so spread out that it's hard to get everybody together to do anything. There are like basketball courts and volleyball courts and other things on the island that you can do. However, again, most people go there with the sole purpose of just enjoying the beach and not necessarily engaging in much anything else. Now, there are cabanas there. If you want to be the big shot on the beach, then you want to rent one of these. It can hold a lot of people, and I'm going to go inside and take a look around and show you what it's all about. The big downside to renting these cabanas is you don't own the beach area in front. So if you look out your window, that is what you're going to see. You're going to see a sea of chairs. If there's a little avenue for you to walk through to get to the ocean, they're going to fill it up with chairs because it's not very well patrolled. But you can see these cabanas are absolutely beautiful. They have the decks out front, so you can be on the deck and look over all those chairs and see a beautiful turquoise water. Love them or hate them, these cabanas are not cheap, and also they are very popular. They seem to always sell out. If you are even thinking about getting a cabana while you are on vacation, definitely do it before you get on board the ship. If you wait that long, they're not going to be available. Most people are surprised that they have that much space. You can see they have a dining room table. So if you're having a family reunion or have a large family and want to get together, it's absolutely wonderful. It also has a little fridge, and downstairs you may have seen it has a jacuzzi. In my opinion, one of the best things about the cabana is that you can sit there on the deck. It's elevated. You can look over all those people who are hustling for space beneath you, and you can enjoy a spectacular view. Now, just keep in mind, an hour before the ship leaves, they will tell you to get out. If you're not with a large group, they do have smaller cabanas, and these cabanas start at $499. They do come with drinks and snacks, and one of the things I also like is that they have their own personal shower as well as an electrical port, and they are elevated, so they give you a chance to, again, look over those people who are in front of you and just enjoy an unobstructed view of the ocean. I spoke to about a dozen people who've rented both the small and the large cabana, and they all seem to enjoy it. So if you have that much money to spend, it appears to be a good bang for your buck. The thing that is universally agreed that most people hate the most about going to Coco Cay is this, and it is tendering. What I mean by that is your ship will not go directly to the island. It will come close, drop anchor, and then you will have to take a small boat from your ship to the island. That process is not immediate. It takes time, and it's frustrating for a number of different reasons, and it's not guaranteed. So in turbulent weather, if they have a storm or the ocean isn't calm, then the whole tendering process may not happen at all. If you are wheelchair bound, the ship may decide that they are not going to allow anyone with a wheelchair to get on the tenders because it's too unwieldy. So those are big things to keep in mind. Here are a few things you should know about the tendering process. Number one, it only takes about 15 minutes to get from the ship to the island. However, once you get on board, to wait till the boat loads could take a good half hour. So just keep that in mind. Also, there's preferential treatment when it comes to who gets on board the tender first. If you have an excursion on the island, then those tender folks are going to get on the boat first, and then you have to wait. You have to go down and get a number, and they call your number, and then they let you get onto the tender boat. The good news is that they are building a pier, so in the future, there's going to be no need for tendering. This is the Welcome Plaza. It's one of the things you will first see when you enter Coco Cay. Just a little bit more about tendering. All the video you just saw was when there was one ship in port. If you can imagine the beach with twice as many people, that's what it's like when there are multiple ships in port. So if there are multiple ships out there, you want to get off your ship first. Just looking around the Welcome Center, there's not a lot of things for you to do. Only 5 things really. There's entertainment, usually a live performance of a person who sings. Sometimes there's a DJ. There's shopping. There are bars. There are excursions, and there are lockers for rent. There are only 2 brands of ships that come here, Holland America as well as Carnival. While on the island, there are only 2 occasions where you will need cash. They are local vendors in the straw market. Their price is less expensive than you would say find in one of the stores here that are owned by Carnival and Holland America. So I recommend you buy from them. Now, there are lots of ways to get around, and there is none more popular than the Shoe Leather Express. However, there are also numerous maps all over the place to help you not get lost. It's nearly impossible to get lost. You literally have to try because the ocean is right there and the walking path is right along the ocean. If you are wheelchair bound or you need some type of special mobility device, they have these chairs here for absolutely free. However, if you have your scooter can ride on the path without it being a problem. They blow the sand off the path at the start of the day, but even at the end of the day when there's a little sand on there, scooters seem to have no problems getting around. This is the brick path that the scooter will have to drive on. Just note that it can get a little bumpy. If you get tired while on the path, they are covered rest areas like what you see right here. If you want to get to that secluded beach area, you have one of 2 options. Number 1, you can walk on that path. It'll take you about 15 minutes, or you can take this shuttle bus. It'll get you there a lot sooner. Believe it or not, this island is actually larger than Perfect Day Coco Cay. The majority of the interior of the island is not developed. One of the excursions that you can take is a bike ride, which I don't recommend you doing, and I love biking. But one of the paid excursion bike ride, about $20, you can ride all around the entire island. I personally recommend you bring your own snorkel gear like this gentleman right here, but the most expensive excursion on the island is going to set you back around $120, which is the horseback riding, which is what we're going to take a look at right now. But in addition to horseback riding, there are a variety of things that you can do. There's kayaking, that's about $50. You can swim with the stingrays, again, about $50. There's the biking tour of the island, that's $20. I don't recommend that. There's the jet ski, which is about $100. And there's horseback riding, $120. Now, the thing you need to know about excursion is that there is no competition. This island is owned exclusively by Carnival and Holland America, so you're not going to find locals who are going to offer you a better bang for your buck. Just a little bit of history about this island. It is not very big. We're talking about 4 square miles. Many years ago, Holland America, which is the parent company to Carnival, paid around $6 million for this island, and they spent another $16 million to get it developed. But there is not a lot to do because, again, the island is not fully developed. I alluded to earlier that there were no local population on the island. It's owned by a corporation. However, there are feral chickens. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, it's kind of disconcerting when you first see it. But there are chickens that run around. If you're sick of the salt water, there are showers available at the entrance bay to the beach to help you wash it off before you get on board the ship. At different parts of the island, there are massage, but there's also retail therapy available. And for a small price of $35, you can get a shirt, and for $21, you can get a hat. But again, you can get these things for less if you go to the straw market at the very front that are staffed by locals. So definitely recommend you go to the straw market, but if you want to overspend, then definitely go to one of these retail shops. If you have a photo package on board, there are tons of photographers all throughout who will take photographs of you while you're enjoying your time in the water and all over the island. Because locals don't have access to the island and safety is not a concern, however, don't bring your valuables, because if you bring it to the island and you lose it, this guy with this metal detector is going to find it, and something tells me he's not going to give it back. He's a very nice guy, but he's going to keep it. I have been to Coco Cay many times, and I've always had a good time. And talking to folks who were on the trip with me, they had a wonderful time. And many of the people I didn't know, when I talked to them, they also had a fantastic time. They all looked at it as a great, relaxing beach day to spend with family and friends. Definitely get off the ship. You will enjoy.